I'm Anthony Blake Clark. I am the new artistic director for Bach Vespers. So actually, way back, I'm originally from Amarillo, Texas, the bastion of society. I am currently, in addition to my work at Bach Vespers, I am the artistic director of Baltimore Choral Arts, and now I'm traveling down to Richmond very often to be their chorus director at the Richmond Symphony. I think the first time that you experience performing, or at least practicing Bach, it's so formative that you don't forget it. For me, it started by trying to hack my way through Brandenburg 1 on the violin, which of course, you know, as an adolescent failed violinist, it didn't work very well. But I think the first time that I really understood Bach was when I went to university and we did a set of the motets. And I think it just sort of dawned on me how universal and how virtuosic the music was. And from there, I never looked back. I went down this rabbit hole obsession with Bach and Handel, but in my professional life and in my graduate school life, I was able to sit down with heroes of mine, really, Ton Koopman, John Eliot Gardner, and really delve into particularly the Passions, talking about the Matthew and the St. John. And so to get their ideas and have them sort of percolating in my brain as a young professional musician was just life-changing. And set me on the trajectory I think I am on now. What I hope that we can explore more long-term with me here is not only the music of Bach, but also sort of what he would have seen and heard in the Nikolaikirche or the Thomaskirche in, let's say, 1730. So keep in mind that at that moment they weren't just exclusively playing Bach, right? They were playing Bach's predecessors and regional composers as well as Italian composers, and sort of bring context, contextualize what we're hearing in the cantata. So I think that we're going to be exploring more and more facets of Bach Vespers and what the music and the text and the implications of the text, because Bach was really emphasizing the text, but what those implications are for both Bach's music and how we interpret it now, how we dialogue with it now, and how it applies to our lives today. Bach's music, I think, is number one, totally evergreen, and number two, completely universal. There's a visceral quality to it that I think comes from the rhythmic impulse that's constantly there. Some of that is because it's rooted in dance, some of it's just the nature of Baroque music in general, but I think there's something about Bach from a primal level that speaks to us all the time. I'm thrilled and honored to take the helm of Bach Vespers. I've always been intrigued by and maybe inspired by the Endzweck letter that Bach wrote, where he described his purpose, his end goal, which was a well-regulated church music to the glory of God. And I've always just thought of how interesting that his life purpose was distilled into such a self-contained sentence, and all about sort of making music in a well-regulated way. And to me, I think that this is finally a chance at a professional level with professional musicians to explore Bach and his contemporaries and his world in a way that's thorough and interesting, and building a program in an institution that can really support such high-level work. So I think it's going to be really exciting.